There's something profoundly disturbing about hearing a father step out and confess on camera that he is jealous of how naturally moms love their children. But that's exactly what Kody Brown did this month in a cameo. And honestly, fans were left stunned. Not only did he speak of being jealous of how naturally moms connect with their children, he outright stated that unconditional love doesn't come naturally to him, and not to him alone. When you're the father of nearly 20 children, a statement like that lands hard, especially when most of his kids, those not under Robin's roof, seem to be drifting further and further from him. It's confusing, it's painful, and honestly, it reveals more than he might realize. Hi guys, I'm Anya, and thanks for coming back to Reality Recap. If you've been watching the Brown family as closely as I have, then you'll get it. We're not seeing changes. We're seeing a complete collapse. This isn't the sister wives we started with. This is a family of women, mostly, who are now piecing together the shattered remnants, redefining their existence, and finally able to catch their breath. In this June 2025 update, we're diving into Christine's major European getaway with David, without Truly. Why that's got fans buzzing and what it reveals about her life after Cody. We're also talking Janelle's quiet transformation, Meri's solo, soul-searching trip, and the newest wave of shade coming from the grown kids, especially Maddie and Gabe. Oh, and yes, Suki. She's finally hit back at the criticism she's received as the tell-all host. But let's just say, fans aren't entirely buying it. If you're into the type of Sister Wives reporting that doesn't pull any punches about anything, go ahead and click that subscribe button, give this video a like, and leave a comment. I want to hear what you're thinking about all that's happening with this family. Now, Christine Brown is in a whole new stage of life, and believe me, it's wonderful to see. Last month, she went on a sweet little family vacation with her baby daughter, Truly, and her husband, David, to Big Rock Candy Mountain in Utah. Not glamorous at all, just quiet, calm time with the people she loves. They walked, explored, laughed. And for all of us who've been along with this family since the start, Truly smiling and carefree, with David beside her, was like everything was right with the world again. This kid has already been through so much, especially being the one who's stuck in some ways to the plural family lifestyle. Christine is now doing her best to surround herself with peace, stability, and joy. 3 things she went too long without. But soon enough, Christine and David set off again, this time on a European dream trip: Switzerland, Germany, Austria. Destinations she likely never imagined she'd ever see. And this time, they brought Truly along at home. That did take some fans aback, but this is how I saw it. For the first time in an eternity, Christine placed herself first. Not selfishly, more like in a way that very much says, I've earned this. She's parented kids, juggled perpetual chaos, and borne decades of emotional weight. And now, with her finally letting herself get out into the world, alongside someone who actually shows up for her, home, however, is still happening there too. Aspen's having her first child, so Christine's becoming a grandma once more. Mykelti was recently seen back in Utah, leaving fans wondering if a baby shower already took place, or if one's just on the horizon. There's just this general sense of growth around Christine now. She's not just getting by anymore. She's living. She's a mom, a wife, a traveler, soon to be a grandmother again. She's living the life she was always told she needed to wait for, and she's not waiting anymore. And what about the Brown kids? They're all living their own lives these days, and honestly, it's remarkable to behold. A great number of them are moving well beyond Cody's shadow and living who they were always intended to be. Take Gabe, for instance. He lost an astonishing 75 pounds, a transformation not merely physical, but emotional as well. Rumor has it that he even relocated to Chicago for love, a fresh start he absolutely deserves. Having endured as much as he has, it's like he's rewriting his story, one intentional, healthy step at a time. And then there's Hunter, partying it up in Vegas with his buddies. From the raves to the parties, it's obvious he's getting to know who he is beyond the dysfunction of the Brown family. But don't confuse it all for hedonistic indulgence. Hunter's also grounding himself in nature, hiking Griffith Peak and Mount Charleston. That contrast between wild nights and introspective mountain paths speaks volumes about someone seeking inner peace in the midst of so much prior dysfunction. The unrest he grew up in clearly wore him down, but Tony had a lighthearted newsflash for his fans last week. He played in a national chess competition in Vegas. Some might brush under the carpet as geeky, but honestly, it's seriously cool. Among a group of thousands of players, he finished near the top, even joking about himself for dropping a notch or two in the rankings. It's honestly a breath of fresh air to see him beaming with pride over something all his own. On a sweeter level, Maddie's daughter Evie watched her dance recital. Maddie wrote a heartfelt post honoring Eve's courage, especially moving considering that Evie has a limb difference. It was a wonderful reminder that despite all the challenges this family has faced, love and strength are still deeply embedded in them. Maddie also posted a touching Father's Day homage to husband Caleb, a low-key but effective counterpoint to tension that still exists between them and her dad, Cody. The tension there is very real, very raw. These scenes all serve to create the image of the Brown children not merely surviving, but flourishing. Occasionally despite Cody, occasionally separate from him altogether. The drama and dividing that they were raised with shaped them undoubtedly. But now, they're making their own paths, and to witness that happen is both heartbreaking and hopeful. Janelle Brown has become one of the most influential figures in the Sister Wives world in recent times, quietly so. She's always been the voice of sanity, the glue that keeps things going, but now she's finding something even stronger within herself. She's staking out her own territory, claiming her own identity, and becoming powerful in it. This month, Janelle's been writing some introspective, even philosophical comments, little glimpses of a woman learning to put herself first. One post in particular stood out, a photo of graffiti she spotted driving somewhere. She shared the message with her readers, which talked about how we are not our circumstances, how, however stuck and trapped we may feel. She quoted Mel Robbins, "You aren't anxious. You have anxious thoughts." What a small but powerful shift in thinking, Janelle said, allows us room to breathe. It returns to us a spark of control. That degree of emotional clarity isn't typical, especially from someone with as complex a life and so much loss, so much love, and so much ongoing scrutiny of the public eye. But it's not all words. Janelle's actually living out there. She was just spotted going to a blueberry festival in North Carolina. Yes, a blueberry festival, and even treated herself to some adorable blueberry-themed earrings. It might seem like a little thing, but these little things speak volumes. She's relishing the quiet, far from the glare of the cameras and the constant family soap opera. What's even more telling? Her friends are sporting her swag, Teflon Queen and wasted lines. That's not a brand, that's a whole aesthetic. Janelle has claimed her story, her humor, her setbacks, and she's turned them all into this metaphor for strength. The women who stand behind her aren't acquaintances. They're her makeshift family now. They don't know her as Cody's wife or whatever reality show persona, but as who she really is. And of course, there's still sorrow. Janelle still grieves the loss of Garrison, and you can feel it in the way she talks of finding peace. That sorrow is always there with her, but she carries it gently, softly. Because sorrow isn't something that you just get beyond. It needs space. it needs time. And Janelle's path is a reminder to all of us. At the heart of it all, Janelle is finally making room for herself, for her happiness, her value, her peace. That steady strength, that gentle but fierce reclaiming of her life, is admirable. She's not the same woman she was when she first took this journey so many years ago. She's wiser now, stronger, and finally, in charge of her own narrative. And for real? To see her enter that makes me hopeful. Sometimes the toughest battles are the ones we fight inside of ourselves, and sometimes it's there where true strength lies. Meanwhile, Meri Brown has been moving quietly in some impressive ways of her own. She's stepping into a new season, a season that seems to be more rooted in independence and discovery. This month, she took an anniversary vacation to Boston with a very specific agenda in mind, attending an event for Mel Robbins. Yes, the same motivational speaker that both Meri and Janelle seem to draw strength from. For Meri, however, this wasn't time off. It was refueling, a means of reconnecting with motivating messages and embracing change. She even shared some of those quotes on social media, the start of a new frame of mind, one that's light years away from the woman we originally met all those seasons prior. Meri's also been handling things lately. Lizzie's Heritage Inn, the historic home she used to turn into a bed and breakfast, is having its roofs replaced. It's the quiet, steady reminder that life continues on, even when she isn't always in the limelight. In hindsight, Meri's change is amazing in and of itself. Now the previously reserved, often solitary member of the family who always appeared to be gazing in from the periphery, she's developing a far more assertive sense of self. That former solitude has increasingly become a style of personal strength, a transformation that is not so much about clinging to the past as about assuming control over her own direction. It's a kind of development readers likely didn't see coming, but one they're more than happy with. And then there's Kody Brown's new cameo, the one that's left viewers stumped and a bit unsettled. In a short clip, he openly confesses to feeling envious of how mothers have the ability to love their babies so unconditionally from the moment they're born. That kind of confession, it's strange and enlightening. Here's the man who's been at the center of the Sister Wives scandal for years, and he's informing us that unconditional love is something that doesn't naturally come to him, not even for his own kids. That amount of exposure pulled the veil off some deep-seated fissures in his father and husband personas. And it's hard not to wonder how all those unresolved emotions have affected his strained relationships with his children all these years. The whole thing left the majority of the fans feeling uncomfortable, wondering where Cody is actually at in his own family these days. Meanwhile, Suki, the new tell-all host herself, has also landed herself in hot water. Interviewing Sarah Fraser recently, she defended her approach, explaining that she tries her best to be respectful, especially where children are concerned. She said that she does not believe in yelling or aggressive behavior. It's not who she is. And while that might be reasonable on its surface, the majority of fans feel she is too soft in her approach, almost in their behalf, especially when it comes to some of the wives. For instance, she wouldn't call out Robin for the highly publicized dolls flap, even though viewers were demanding information. And her openly friendly relationships with Christine and Janelle, she even jokes about having wine nights with them, have raised questions about whether she's too chummy with the cast to ever truly remain objective. What we're left with is a growing gap between what fans want, unfiltered honesty and real accountability, and what the tell-alls actually offer, a safer, more polished version of the truth. And it raises a bigger question. Can these specials ever really deliver the raw emotional clarity that fans are craving? Or are they just another layer of controlled storytelling? As we wrap up this month's news, one thing is for sure. The Sister Wives clan is going through gigantic, life-altering changes. What began as a promising plural marriage based on bonding now looks like a scattering of fractured homes, each member striking out on his own. Some are healing, some are reclaiming their independence, and some are continuing to wrestle with loss and uncertainty. Christine's European adventure marks a powerful new beginning, one where joy and self-worth come first. Janelle and Meri's solo chapters highlight the quiet, steady strength that blossoms after years of emotional struggle. And then there's Cody, whose recent confessions and growing distance from his kids paint a picture of a man untethered, stuck somewhere between what was and what's next. So now let's hear from you. Do you think that Janelle and Meri are actually better off without the group? Is Christine finally free to do her best living without the weight of the past interfering with her? And what about Cody? Is any path left for him to repair these broken relationships? Or is this the beginning of a larger unraveling? Your thoughts really count in this community we're building here on Reality Recap. So do it if you haven't. Subscribe, like this video so you're in the loop, and comment below. Let's stay real, honest, and open. Thanks a million for tuning in, guys. I'm Anya, and this is Reality Recap. See you in the next update.